Let's get some political reaction to this now. Andrew RT Davies is the leader of the Welsh Conservatives and joins me now. Andrew, this is a mess, isn't it?
Well, good morning or good afternoon. Now we've gone past midday. It's a fast-moving situation, no doubt about that. Obviously, we'll learn more at 2 o'clock this afternoon. The comments from the Chancellor of yesterday at the IMF meeting in Washington seem to be outdated now, if reports are to be believed. But what's really important is that there's political confidence as well as financial confidence, and that is to be put on the table at the same time at 2 o'clock.
Do you have political confidence in Liz Truss?
I do have political confidence in Liz Truss. She's the leader that I backed in the leadership campaign. And I think it's important now that she asserts her authority as leader, because the office of Prime Minister is a very, very important office that commands respect across the government. But obviously it needs to command respect across the parliamentary party. And that seems to be where the breakdown seems to be happening at the moment, is that there is not widespread support on the backbenches for some of the policy positions that have been taken in the early weeks of the new Prime Minister's leadership. And it's really now important that the parliamentary party focus on the job in hand, which is to give confidence to their electors that they're acting in the best interest of their electors rather than just trying to reopen the leadership contest.
When you mentioned that you backed Liz Truss for leader, you said Liz is the right person to take our party and our country forward because she's the best place to bring what we need above all else, unity. In that time, she's managed to split the party, crash the pound, seen mortgage rates go up, and after 6 weeks in the job, she's about to sack her chancellor. Presumably you're pretty disappointed.
Well, as I said, it's been a very, very difficult couple of weeks. Let's not understate what has gone on over the last couple of weeks. But what we've also got to reflect on are the positives that the Prime Minister's brought forward, such as the energy package, not just for households, but for businesses, importantly, because they were suffering under enormous cost pressures. And that certainty is for the next 6 months for businesses and the next 2 years for households. And that's a welcome initiative on behalf of the government. But there have been mistakes made and unnecessary divisions caused in the parliamentary party. And as I said, what we must not do now is reopen the leadership contest, because that was settled back in the summer. What the people of this country want is to see the government get on with the job in hand of supporting them through this cost of living pressures that everyone's feeling at the moment, whether it's here in Wales or England, Scotland or Northern Ireland, as well as standing shoulder to shoulder with the Ukrainian people to face down Vladimir Putin. Because if we know we can bring that war to a conclusion, that will have a direct impact on the cost of living pressures that we're seeing at the moment. And above all, making sure that when we get into next year, that the economy is growing and growing strongly so that we create the jobs and prosperity that communities need to pay for the great public services that we rely on.
This whole situation is a humiliation, though, isn't it?
Well, it's not a good situation, and the Prime Minister herself has acknowledged that. No one's happy that we're in this situation at all. But
whose fault? You say, sorry, Andrew. You say the Prime Minister's acknowledged it. Whose fault is it that she's in this situation?
Well, I think the Prime Minister's acknowledged it and accepted responsibility for issues that have arisen over the last 5 weeks. But equally, because it's 5 weeks, obviously, since the Prime Minister became leader, 3 weeks since the mini-budget was delivered to the House of Commons. But as I've highlighted, there have been good initiatives as well coming forward. And in particular, the energy package has to be something that the government rightly can claim credit for. There are issues around the mini-budget. No one's disputing that whatsoever. But there's also announcements being made in health and social care from Theresa Coffey, the Deputy Prime Minister, and we're only a week back into the normal parliamentary cycle now after the conference break. But as I said, there is a real issue in the parliamentary party that there are a number of individuals who want to try and reopen the leadership contest that was settled through the summer. It's important that the Prime Minister gets a grip of the situation, delivers on her commitments through that leadership contest, and delivers the unity that we all want to see.